Morning folks, how you doing? I've had a few things on my mind the last day or so, and one of the things that I've been contemplating is about psychotherapy. Is it our friend or is it a foe? And I watched an excellent video by Catherine, also known as Turquoise Blue, and I find her videos just so real, so authentic, and she really does express exactly how she's feeling and just sort of like seems so natural in her videos. So yeah, check her out if you can. I'll put a link down below. And what I want to talk about is psychotherapy and does it work, and you know, what are the advantages? Are there any, in fact? So I'll just talk a little bit from a personal perspective. And when I was a kid, I remember seeing a door with a name on it and thinking, wow, I would love to have my own office and making people better in their heads. That's the way I saw it, as, wow, I don't know what that person does, but it must be a really important job. And I'm just going to stand here for a minute. And I thought, wow, I'd love to do that. And then later on in life, I did actually start a psychology degree down at Plymouth Uni. But I knew within the first few months that it wasn't really for me. So I left, and here I am contemplating psychotherapy and what it means and if it's effective at all, you know, later on in life, because it is quite good to know things about yourself and to be introspective and self-aware of things. So for instance, you know, I made the video about being an HSP the other day, and you know, we all have our challenges, and in a world where mental health things and our minds are in, you know, how our minds work, and the interest in that is definitely on the rise, I think it's really good to be aware of these things about psychotherapy, whether it works, whether you feel it works, or whether it doesn't really. My other experience was when I was suffering from depression for 3 months. I recognised it was depression, but I really hate that label, because I think it's when you just go into a kind of a numb emotion, or you know, you look at things through a negative viewpoint. But depression sounds like something like a sea that you fall into and that you can't get out of. Anyhow, I did go and see a psychotherapist. I went for one session. I found her very harsh, very confrontational and challenging. And I've never been to a psychotherapist again. And I know in this day and age where a lot of people do have therapists, and it can help them if they find a therapist that they resonate with. And I think this is the key point. I've recently been watching a woman called Emotional Badass. I can't think of her name offhand. Again, you know, I'll share a link underneath. But she is a fellow HSP. And when she talks, I really relate to her, because maybe it's the way that she expresses things. But I feel like she isn't only coming from the head, she's coming from the heart as well. And this morning I was watching a video she did about grief. And what she did in the video was talk about how we try and understand things, emotions and things, through the mind. And maybe that's what happens in psychotherapy. I'm not quite sure how psychotherapists study to become that. And what we maybe need to do is also take into account our hearts, our souls, and all of those places that we can't quite, you know, pin down. So yeah, I think that's a big area. You know, Jung called it the subconscious. Maybe there's a whole part of us that is not being addressed in psychotherapy. I know in shamanism what they would do is go into trance, go into other worlds to find the answers. And these people are medicine people, often in the village. So they would go and find the answers not only for individuals, but, sorry, I keep on getting a hair in my mouth, but also for the communities as well. And, you know, these wise people, these people who sort of straddle the worlds to find the answers, it's much more of a holistic viewpoint, isn't it, than allopathic medicine and also modern psychotherapy. And I was quite horrified to see in Catherine's video. Catherine, also known as Turquoise Blue, made a brilliant video, and it was all about unraveling, you know, psychotherapy. I can't remember the title of the book, but I'll put a link below as well. But it's horrific the way some people have been treated in psychotherapy and not really questioned it, because it's the whole thing about, oh yes, well they must know better, it's a science. It's almost like putting your own sovereignty out of your own hands, isn't it? Losing, you know, not taking control of your life in a sense. So anyhow, I just thought I'd throw some questions out. Do you think psychotherapy is a foe or a friend, or can it be both? And just wanted to sort of put the discussion out there, really. So my channel's not just about me telling you stuff. I'd like to hear your stories as well. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.